The Spanish Civil War, Paul Preston. A divided society, Spain before 1931. There were political problems solved not by debate but with violence. 1808. There was a division in two social blocs, reform forces and reaction forces. 1868. There was popular discontent against the favoritism of the monarchy, and the uprisings of Serrano, Prima and Topete and revolts caused the dethronement of Isabel II. In Cuba, an insurrection broke out. 1873. Amadeo of Savoia abdicated. The First Republic started. 1874. There was a military coup made by Pavia and upheavals ended. 1876. The political system was divided into liberal and conservative, led by Mateo Sagasta and Cánovas del Castillo. 1868. Josep Fanelli was sent by the First International to give hope. There were nationalist movements in Catalonia and País Vasco, Catalanism and Basque nationalism. Prieto, a periodist from PSOE, and the Republicans were against Francisco Largo Caballero, the vice-president of the UGT. Le Roux have a lot of followers, who receives money from the central government. The government introduced law of jurisdictions. 1909. The government of Autonomaura was defeated in Morocco, in the Battle of Wolf Ravine, which caused protests and popular strikes. The absence of Spain in the World War I caused the takeoff of the industry. UGT and CNT made a popular strike because of lack of bread. Benito Márquez made a great movement of national reform. The president was Eduardo Nato, who approved the financial request of the militaries. 1918-1921. Bolshevik Triennium started. 1921. The Communist Party was formed and Antonio García Quejido was the general secretary. 1923. A coup was made by Miguel Primo de Rivera, and the UGT, with Largo Caballero as councillor, suffered a lot of critics. 1930. Primo de Rivera resigned. 1931. There were municipal elections in which the majority was the Socialists and the Republicans. The challenge of the left. 1931-1933. The Second Republic started. There was a provisional government, which included conservatives, radicals, Republicans, and socialists. The right-wing press blamed the Republic of the economic situation. 11th May 1931. There were fires around the churches of Spain, but they don't call the police. June 1931. Azaña closed the General Military Academy, and this caused an enmity against Franco. There were elections, and the socialists win. There was a new constitution approved the 9th of December of 1931. Azaña wanted to distract the church, and Maura and Alcalá resigned. Azaña was the president of the government. The FINTT made a general strike. 1932. There was a need for reform. Catholics saw the Republicans as enemies. 1932. There was a coup in Seville and Madrid, but they were stopped. There was a strike made by the CNT. A new political party was created, called CEDA, which extended the discontent against the Republic. 1933. There were elections in which the women could vote and the right-wing win. Confrontation and conspiracy. 1934-1936. There was established the Biennium Black, in which the right wing won revenge. Le Roux was the president of the government. Primo de Rivera and Jones imitated Nazis and fascists. Le Roux resigned. Ricardo Zabaza was the general secretary of the FINTT, which made a general strike and led to a revolutionary conflict and arrests. Diego Hidalgo relied on Franco to stop the revolts in Asturias. The armed forces attacked Asturias and ended with the Republic. There was organized a campaign against Azaña. Azaña and some Republicans protagonized rallies. The 16th of February there were elections. Right-wing wanted to destroy the Republic. Azaña wanted peace, but they couldn't control the problems. Azaña and Prieto joined to distract Alcalá Zamora. Azaña was named president of the government. He wanted Prieto to form government, but he didn't. Casares Quiroga was the substitute of Azaña. Natural disaster led to protest. The constitution gave more rights to women. The Second Republic needed a strong, determined government. Largo Caballero and Prieto debilitated the Republic. There was a coup made by Mola, in which Franco was sent to the Canary Islands and Godet to the Balears, and Mola to Pamplona. Primo de Rivera became imprisoned. A Falangist gunman killed José Castillo, and his partners killed Calvo Sotelo as a revenge. Franco fled to Morocco to go to the Civil War.
Chapter 4. The map of Spain is bleeding, from the coup d'etat to the Civil War.
In Galicia, the nationalist officials take the power, and in Sevilla, the power was held by Gonzalo Quiepo. In Oviedo, also the nationalists get the power, led by Aranda. In Cádiz, there were strikes repressed by the Falangists. And in Granada, Albarracín was bombed and Miguel Campin was fusilated. Azaña, who didn't thought the situation was very critic, decided to make a coalition with Martínez Barrio and negotiate with the rebels. But Martínez Barrio resigned in July and was replaced by José Giral. Because of different reasons, these three important politicians died: Godel, Fanjul, and Sanjurjo. We led only with Mola as opponent of Franco. In July of 1936, Franco asked for help to Hitler and Mussolini. In August and September of that same year, Franco moved his army from Marruecos to Sevilla, and Mola, his opponent, conquered Guipúzcoa. Later, Franco started applying pressure in Madrid and Badajoz. Europe, who was scared of a revolution like the one on the USSR, made the Non-Intervention Pact. In April of 1938, the Anglo-Italian Pact was signed. USA helped the right wing, and in 1935 some alliances were made. The USSR with France and the USSR with the UK. Stalin also wanted to help the Spanish Republic. However, he didn't want the left wing to win.
Chapter 5. Behind the Gentleman's Agreement. The Great Powers betray Spain.
On the other hand, Hitler helped Franco. He was scared of a communist Spain, and Stalin at the same time was afraid of a fascist Spain. Also, Mussolini was afraid of UK attacking Gibraltar. And in 1936, due to all these fears, France proposed the Non-Intervention Pact. The 1st of November, the rebels attacked Madrid through Ciudad Universitaria and Casa de Campo, and were aided by the German Condor Legion. Meanwhile, inside Madrid, Prieto organized a flight of the ministers to Valencia, and left Miaja alone in Madrid. Azaña, who thought that Madrid was going to be in the power of Franco, helped sending the ministers to Valencia. At the same time, Franco stopped into Alcázar, which gave time to the people in Madrid to receive help. The 8th of November, the first helpers arrived, but didn't have enough military formation, so they were taught how to fight. The 14th of November, a big conflict started to form between communists and anarchists. The right-wing prisoners could go to execution, to a prison in Chinchilla, or be liberated.
Chapter 6. Madrid is the heart, the central epic.
Primo de Rivera, who was in jail, was fusilated the 20th of November of 1936. The 3rd of February of 1937, Malaga fell under the power of the Nationalists with help of the Italians. There were so many Republicans that died. The 1st of March, Franco closed the circle around Madrid. The 8th of March, the Italians break the defense of the Republicans, and Franco is accused of using the Italians. Later, the 12th of March, the Republicans counterattacked with better weapons. Later on, the Republicans won the defense of Guadalajara due to a lot of weapons and a document that said that the Italians were volunteers. In the 24th of March of 1937, Vicente Rojo ascended to colonel, and there were a lot of conflicts in the Republican zone about how to command the war.
Chapter 7. Politics in the Franquist Revolt. Reaction and terror in the City of God.
The communists and the fascists wanted to intervene on internal politics of Spain, and the right-wing thoughts were applied by terror. A lot of deaths were caused, and the charge was against. This caused a lot of women being violated and murdered.
Chapter 8. Politics in the Republican Rear. Revolution and terror in the City of the Devil.
Catholics identify with the Franquist cause, and the German bishops support Hitler. USA blocks the aid for the Republic, and also the Vatican City helps Franco. Political authorities follow the Doctrinas Nacionalistas, in which Franco had the power, and the main concept was Imperio. In 1937, there is a rebels unification in which the slogan is Una patria, un estado, un caudillo. In this unification is present the antisemitism. There is a new state in which the rebels do not want the Falange, they want to eradicate liberal ideas and restore monarchy. In general, Franco's main thoughts were Catholicism, Puritanism, and hierarchy, and they also thought women need to change their way of dressing, they couldn't smoke or makeup, and they weren't allowed to wear short skirts or necklines. In the right wing, there was Franquist propaganda, and they had the support of the African army. On the other side, the left wing didn't stop being a democracy, and the 70% of the population supported. Indalecio Prieto tried to put order in the Republic government, but this only caused that there was no police force, and due to this, free criminals. The Justice Tribunal or Revolution Tribunal was created by new political parties and trade unions. Due to the catastrophic situation, there were a lot of murders and charged robberies made by Republicans. Jewish companies, Catalan president let the CNT take the power and collaborate with the state, but they chose join the Popular Front. They couldn't control the simultaneous institutions, so they created the Comité de Milicias Antifascistas. In finals of September, the Comité Milicias was dissolved, and the CNT, PSUC, and Esquerra were in the government. In 1939, the people won the revolution, and the Popular Army lost. The consequences of the revolution were the weakening of the war effort and the increasement of the hostility of the great powers towards the Republic. Agricultors were considered a total autonomy, although this caused less production and then a bad economy, so the communist politics applied the Soviet policy. Later on, Stalin searched Hitler's enemies. All this led to a socialist Spain. The communist winners wanted destruction and to kick out Largo Caballero, so they managed to leave him without support. Indalecio Prieto with PSOE accused Largo Caballero for lack of public order, so he resigned. Manuel Azaña gave presidency to Juan Negrín, so Azaña took care of the war effort in a new ministry called Defensa Nacional. The prison regime is so there was more people free, Cruz Roja had access to jails and civil prisoners were freed. Chapter 9. Defeat in installments. In 1937, the rebels went to the north of Spain. Mola, that controlled the cover, joined with Wolfram Richthofen, and the 25th of April bombarded Guernica. After this, Guernica became a war symbol and a famous painter, Pablo Picasso, represented it in a painting. There was controversy over whether the bombing was done with the knowledge of the Francoist High Command or if it was Nazi initiative. Frankists entered in Santander and then in Gijón and Avilés. War prisoners were in campos de concentración in which many officials and commissaries were killed. A big army was formed by prisoners and some volunteers. In the summer, Republicans made an offensive in Brunet, and this was an opportunity to Franco for killing Republicans. In 1937, there was a new offensive by Republicans in Aragon, but there were problems as the high temperatures, bad communications, and division of communists and the CNT. The force of generals in Burgos was divided in military royalists, Carlists, and Phalangists, and the generals were in charge of the War Ministry, Public Order, and Foreign Affairs. Ramón Serrano Suñer was the new Minister of Interior, and in the new state, the Phalanx was given the syndical movement and the charge the total authority for education. Franco attacked Madrid, but due to the low temperature was a difficult situation, difficulties in the attacks, and a lot of deaths for hypothermia. There were deaths in both sides, in Frankists and Republicans. Then, in 1938, the rebels made an offensive, so there were Republican refugees and a lot of suffrage. The 16th of March in 1938, due to the rebels' attack, there was an uprising in Barcelona led by the PCE. Prieto and Azaña wanted to end the war, while Negrín and Zugazagoitia wanted to continue the war. The 9th of August in 1938 was a meeting in which a rivalry between Prieto and Negrín was created. In June, Franco made an offensive in Valencia. If they won this offensive, the war will end. Vicente Rojo attacked the Republicans in the Ebro River. First, the Republicans stopped them, but later the rebels won the battle. This was clearly the defeatment of the Republicans. The 23rd of December in 1938, Franco made a final offensive in Barcelona, and this made France open the frontiers for the Republicans. Negrín, Azaña, and the General Rojo went to exile, and in Madrid there were communist detentions. The 27th of March in 1939, Franco entered in Madrid. Chapter 10. The Peace of Franco. Finally, Franco established his dictatorship, which included a Spanish reconstruction, no female rights, repression, and the Republicans were sent to campos penitenciarios.